Okay, so this message is for anyone who is on their healing journey. It was just something I noticed in my agenda this week was that July 1st was was the 2-year anniversary that me and my daughter moved away across the province. And July 4th, it was the 1-year anniversary at my current employment. It got me thinking to how much changes in 1 year. The two different human beings I was, I guess, in those moments, that like in every which way, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Like a lot can happen in 1 year. It's one thing I know when you're in the thick of it and you hear people say that you don't really want to hear it, or you don't, well, I didn't say, yeah, okay, like, whenever that happens, right? You don't know. So you just don't even, you're just so right now, this hurts, or right now, my life has gone to crumbles. Like, because pretty well that's how all of these relationships end. Even if you are the one to decide to leave and walk away, the post-separation abuse isn't better, actually. If anything, it's usually worse. And on top of that, even if they do leave you or even start a whole new family, odds are with high percentage that at some point they're going to try and get you back, even if it's just for one night, just to say, yeah, I still won. So they're always going to find a way to get in your life, no matter what, as long as you allow it. And I guess in the moment, you don't think you have a choice, or like you're just, this is what I'm dealt with. And while you do have a choice. And the July before that, I had no house. I was on, I think I was bouncing back and forth trying to pick up the pieces of my life while he was still actively, and his family were post-separation abuse and harassment and, stalking. And it was just, there was no healing in that environment. I knew that. There was you cannot heal and move on when you are constantly looking over your shoulder. You just can't. And after he boxed me at the gas station, and it had just been ongoing escalation, I just knew there was no co-parenting at this point. The numerous attempts just made more. There was always something. And when I realized that was always going to be my life, I decided, no, I don't want that. And when I had the EIO, I had just picked up and sold my house and moved my whole family down to create this business. And all of a sudden now I'm homeless again, and I don't know where to go, but I knew it had to be somewhere else. And I just knew an inner knowing, I have to move. And so when I had the EIO, which is an emergency intervention order after he boxed me into kind of like a temporary restraining order, I just moved, picked up what I had, and took my daughter after school was done and moved to a transition house across the province. Because my hopes was they actually have, and I think a lot of places should have this in place. Not only, this is probably the only transition house in the province that just so happened to have this, because they had won a good amount of money doing a lottery. And they actually had apartments built, which just so happened to be right in front of the cop station, that was free living for 12 months up to 18 for these units. Of course, they're full, but there was mentioned that there were units who were passed. So you go up. I did it in the hopes, okay, maybe I'll get one of these. In the end, what ended up happening was his lawyer ended up petitioning for me to be to go back right away. They were trying to make me move back, saying that I did not have permission or his permission to move. And in that moment, literally on the phone with my lawyer, like just freaking out, like, don't want to go back. I got a call from this housing institution for Indigenous women fleeing domestic violence. Just so happened in my area, a unit became available because the person was no longer needed. And they were going down the list of applicants to see who's in need most. And I was like, I'm on the phone with my lawyer right now, who my ex is trying to make me move back. And it was just kind of like, universe here. And I was so thankful. And I, in that moment again, knew, I'm like, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, how else does a house that's like, I can actually possibly afford, because I have no job, no nothing at this point, and starting from scratch, just fall into my hands when it's like a long-term living situation and the person previously lived there like 10 years. And the other person who had it just so happened to change their mind or do something else. And I've had those moments before, and I'm sure people know what I'm talking about. And the thing is the more you're open to it, the more you believe that these are things lining up for me, the more you see it. And that's what I just kept following. I kept following my heart, my inner knowing. And eventually, like, it was still a rough year. I got the house, but there's a lot more that I'll eventually fill in on the post-separation abuse and the manipulation and what went on, and dealing with the justice system and the cops. And because of, as much as I want to encourage those on your healing journey to hang in there, it's not an easy process leaving, but oh my God, is it worth it in the end? You will get to a point when you are able to put those boundaries and just not deal or put up with any of it anymore. And when you learn how to gray rock and yellow rock, and the only thing that really, really saved me in this scenario was that I actually had full custody and parental decision at the end. The court saw through the BS and awarded me that. And it gave me the power to not let him continue to try and manipulate at the end. And that's a big part that needs to be addressed in the court systems too. So I guess what I'm saying is a lot can change, and keep putting one step forward in front of the other, one foot forward in front of the other. Doesn't matter how many times you take a break or stop or break down, as long as you keep going again, as long as you get back up. And it will get better, and it is worth it. So hang in there.